Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me again, Mr. Anger. Welcome back to another episode of the Mr. Anger Show. If you've never seen this show, please, parental advisory, yada yada yada. You've been warned. If you're not old enough, you know the spiel. Then you need to turn the channel, ask permission, parents' permission, yada yada yada. Parents be responsible, know what your kids watch. Alright, there's a lot of things going on in the news here lately. A lot of things that are still prevalent in the news is the Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump going back and forth, which is a whole bunch of bullshit, especially when, there's better news articles out there that could be reported on that people just don't want to pay attention to. But that's besides the point. Media bias has just gotten out of control. If there was a Republican National Convention hack, that would be top news and top priority across every channel. But everybody seems to ignore the DNC hacks. And it's just proven the bias of the media and who's being paid for by whom. You just want to find out who your news article is loyal to. Just watch the opinions. I mean, it's funny. CNN is definitely bought and paid for by the Democratic National Convention. It has been proven time and time again. Their opinion pieces are always anti-Trump. You go in there, you say something. CNN, ABC. Hold on, was it ABC? It's CNN. Yeah, CNN and ABC. Of course, are Democratic. You go to NBC. I think CBS. CBS is a little bit. I think it's more Democratic, but NBC and Fox are definitely Trump supporters. So yeah, watch. I mean, if you don't believe me about the bias in media, all right, I'll tell you what. Make a comment in every news media outlet. You start with ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, CNN, MSNBC, and then what you do is you take a comment and you go, I appreciate Hillary Clinton. I think she should be the next president of the United States. Put it in each and every news feed. All right. CNN, you'll have thousands of thumbs ups. Fox, you'll have thumbs downs, bad comments. ABC, you'll have a kind of a mix in between. No, ABC, you'll have a bunch of thumbs up for Hillary. Now, if you take a Trump, if you support Trump and you put Trump in all the news articles, say I support Trump, I hope he's the next president, you'll see the opposite. In the places where you supported Hillary, and such as CNN and ABC, will automatically be thumbs down and a bunch of people arguing against you, especially with the Washington Times and the New York Times and stuff like that. I'm sorry, New York Times, Washington Post, all of you guys, Wall Street Journal, y'all have become definitely irrelevant, and that's for sure. It's sad that college professors used to teach that to rely on non-biased information. These were the articles that you went to, but they become some of the most biased articles that I've ever seen in my entire life. Wall Street Journal and everybody, they've lost their credibility. I would never want to work for them. Or New York Times or Washington Post. They turn into media drab. They're basically as useless as CNN and Fox right at this moment. To tell you the truth, there is no true legit news organization out there. And that's what pisses me off. As a person who went to school for media, I was taught to be unbiased. Yes, I do have a personal opinion. I have personal views. I have stated my personal views, but then again, I'm not reporting on the news. This is a channel where I have, I can do as I choose to, and people could either like it or disagree or whatever. But, if I was hired by a news organization, I'm going to report exactly what the hell is. I'm not going to add somebody's spin or bias to the article and make it a biased article. Why? Because the public, I think, is smart enough to figure out and to get the actual information that they need to formulate their own damn opinions. Unfortunately, today's media treats the American public like a bunch of goddamn children, and it pisses me the fuck off. And I hate the media. I hate what it's become. And me, as a person in the media field who's sitting here trying to get a degree, or not trying to get a degree, but I've got a degree, but who's trying to get a job in the media world, being against the media and trying to get a job in the media is kind of hard to do. It is. I mean, I could not go work for any news organization right now as it stands. I couldn't. It would just bother the hell out of me. The bias of the media these days is astronomically stupid. The media acts like that they're their fathers lecturing little children and telling them how to believe, and that's not what the media is about. Like I said, the media is supposed to report what is the facts and let people formulate their own opinions. You know, the American people is that smart. Um, but I guess today's modern media thinks that America is stupid and they should have a father figure, so the media is obviously their father figure. And you can tell there are a lot of idiotic people out there. There are. Because you can spot who listens to what the media says and who doesn't in a heartbeat. Go to the comments section of all of your media outlets and just watch. You will tell. I mean, know what you're talking about. Go watch, if you want to get into a subject, especially about politics right now, especially with Democrats and Republicans and all that, read the articles based on Democrats and Republican sides, and you'll see the bias. You'll see who just pays attention to news headlines and who doesn't pay attention to what actually does happen. It's astronomically dumb, and surprisingly, it's a huge number of people. But anyways, when I got my media degree, it wasn't the news that I was really interested in, but the news did interest me. It was a fascinating side of things. It was non-biased, and I like that. It was a place where you could report what is and let people formulate their own opinions. News was a conversation piece for people to sit there and say, okay, well, this is what did happen, and didn't have any political spin or bias on it, and that way they can sit there and discuss with one another. Well, if they do this, they do that, they do this. It gave people a little bit of responsibility in their decisions. But now, like I said, it's just I can't do it. News organizations and newspapers are almost a thing of the past, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to tell you that, but with the medium of online, what we're doing right here and right now, media, certain mediums are dying. Radio, it's fading out. Newspapers are fading out. Magazines are fading out. TV is even fading out. I mean, everything can be done on apps now on your TV. It's just the world, as far as what I graduated for, is changing, and it's changing quite drastically. And that's fine. That's fine. What I was mainly interested in was doing TV shows, entertaining people, not being in the political arena or not being in the news. I mean, if I had to start off in the news, then yeah, so be it. But I can't bring myself to work for a corrupt organization anymore. It drives me nuts to do that. I don't know what it is. Some people can do it and say, well, I do it for the paycheck. I'm sorry. I got a soul. I got honor. I got respect for myself. And I'm sure as hell I ain't going to violate that for any fucking body. So you can kiss my ass on that note. Well, you can go get a job with me. I am not being a fucking sellout. I'm sorry. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it for my own reasons, my own purposes, my own, for my own ideas, not because somebody's paying me to do so. I want to do some great things in the media world, but unfortunately, I am where I am, and this is how things are going. So, anyways, speaking of media and entertainment, went and saw Suicide Squad. It's good. It's good. It is good. I did enjoy it. I really did, but there were certain things about it that I just hated. I could not stand. Is it worth going to theaters and seeing? Me personally, wait for DVD when you can stay at home and relax and kind of watch it at your own pace. Uh, I don't think it's worth the theater ticket price by any means. The characters that I were worried about when I first went in was Will Smith. Will Smith has kind of been a one-dimensional character. Every time he's played in the movie, it's always been the same character. So I was kind of scared there. I was especially scared with him because I thought, oh God, he's going to do that character that he's done in every film since he's ever been producing movies or TV shows. His characterization hasn't changed much at all. It's always been kind of flatline, the same. Don't get me wrong, I like that character, and when he's in a movie where that character works, it's great. It's great. Men in Black, love it. Let's see, oh gosh, Pursuit of Happiness, love it. But there's, I don't know, his acting variety has always been the same, and that just kind of bothers me. And it scared me a lot, but he did win me over as Deadshot. I did like it. I liked it a lot. Now, the Joker. No. No, 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 no. No. Sorry. I know Jared Leto put a lot of work into the Joker. I know he did, and I give him respect for that, and I give him for respect, but it seemed like what they tried to do was take the cartoon version. You remember back in the 80s and 90s, the cartoon, the animated series, Batman animated series? They tried to take the animated character and put it on screen, and it just didn't work. It didn't fit in with the rest of the characters. It was off kilter. Everything was off kilter. Jared Leto as Joker, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, they need to replace him. I'm sorry. They need to replace him. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. In order for the Joker to survive, they need to replace him. He was just too cartoony, too animated, too all over the place. And for a short amount of time that he was in the movie, I think he was in the movie for about 10, maybe 15 minutes at tops, that was enough to formulate a good, solid opinion on how he's acting and stuff. It just seemed way too cartoony. And I did not like that. I did not like that at all. When the rest of the movie seemed, more down to earth, Joker and when Joker and Harley Quinn got together, it just seemed like the cartoon animation just came and splashed all over your face and just threw you outside the movie altogether. As far as the Joker goes, I have my likes on Jokers. I like the animated Joker from the TV series. I like Jack Nicholson's Joker. I like, of course, Heath Ledger's Joker. I mean, if I had to rank them, I'd go Jack Nicholson first, just because, I mean, his was great, and I love that line, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight? Love that line. I'm sorry, Jack Nicholson did a great job. He would probably be my number one. My number two would have been Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger was a different version. Now, if I had to compare the two, I can't. Jack Nicholson's Joker and Heath Ledger's Joker were completely different versions of the Joker. And people trying to compare those two is kind of naive. But, if I had to rank them, I had to go in order of appearance, and that would have been Jack Nicholson's first. I didn't like the TV show, the original TV show, Batman, with Adam West and all them. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good, but it's cheesy as hell, and I can't sit through and actually watch, too many episodes of that. I just can't do it. I mean, I respect Adam West for what he did for the show and all that stuff, and the original Joker and all that stuff, but I just can't. I can't. It was too campy. It was just too, especially, as a person who grew up in the 80s and had access to better kind of programming in 90s and seeing what programming has become, I can't go back to that and give it actually any form of respect as far as the show goes. I mean, I respect it as the first Batman adaptation, but other than that, I can't watch it. It's just way too cheesy and campy for me. So I have to go with Jack Nicholson first, actually, and then I have to go with Heath Ledger because these are the two real versions of it, and then I go with the Batman animated series, Joker. Jared Leto, I'm sorry, I wouldn't even consider him part of the top of the Joker branch. I'm sorry. Harley Quinn, they nailed her. It was great. I didn't mean, I don't mean nail like that. I mean, they nailed it as far as her character goes. And she did a really good job. But there was just a lot of things wrong with the movie. A lot of things. And especially with a budget so big. A budget of $175 million. I shouldn't be able to tell the CGI from, the CGI effects. I shouldn't be able to. When you have a $175 million budget, we shouldn't see CGI effects. We shouldn't be able to tell it's CGI. And I could quite easily. The plot was kind of so-so, kind of seemed haphazard, thrown together. It was predictable what plot was there. So I definitely wait for video. It was a good movie. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good. If you've got a $5 theater around you that you can go see it at, go see it in $5 theaters. But I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend going to see it in the theater and paying full price. I'd recommend watching it at home on video. Now, we also went to see Sausage Party. I will tell you, Sausage Party, it's an animated cartoon movie, but rated R, and deservingly so. If you're not into South Park, and the best thing I can tell you about Sausage Party is if you're not into South Park, Family Guy, American Dad, Futurama, that kind of humorous shows, Archer, then don't go see this. Alright, if you want to gauge whether or not you should go see this, if you like any of those shows, go see it. It's good. I enjoyed it. I laughed my ass off. It was funny. It was good. Of course, it had its errors too. I wouldn't call it a top-notch, adult animated film. But I would say, for the laughs, go and enjoy it. Go enjoy and see it. I mean, it's definitely worth it. And I don't want to say too much about the movie here because there is a lot of information about the plot of the movie, and a lot of people already know what the plot is. So, I mean, it's about a bunch of food that lives in a grocery store who think that when they get chosen by humans, they go to the magical beyond and it's a happy place. But reality turns out, they get eaten and brutally tortured and murdered and cut up and all that stuff. So, and then one hot dog, well, they call it a sausage, but one hot dog discovers the truth and spreads it to the other people in the supermarket, or tries to spread the truth to the other people in the supermarket, or other food, I should say. They did leave it open for a sequel. I hope they do come out with a sequel. It's fun, it's mindless entertainment. If you're there for Oscar-worthy performances or anything like that, you're going to be severely let down. You are. So, not unless you like, stuff like South Park, Family Guy, American Dad, Archer, I wouldn't go see it if you don't like shows like that. I would not go see it. I just say stay away. So those were the two new movies I went to see. They were actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed myself. But it got me thinking, I really would love to do a Joker movie. As my directorial debut, I would love to do a Joker movie. I want to do Joker as a product of society. I want to do a Joker origin story. I do. I want to do Joker some justice. I do. Joker is such a complex character. But I could see him being a character, a product of society. A person who was abused when he was younger and his parents end up getting killed, and then he gets sent to the orphanage, but he gets lost in the system. It happens all the time. He gets fed up with being traded back and forth in between abusive families, so he just breaks out and he goes to a life of crime out on the streets. He eventually gets hooked up with a crime syndicate family, and as a young little boy and starts working his way up, but once he turns 18, the the Godfather, basically says, I want him to have more training so he could do more professional things and do some more dirty work for us. So give him a fake ID and send him to the military and provide him with military training. And they send him in. They find out how good he is at killing thanks to his skills out on the streets. And they put him in the Special Forces, where he later on becomes the leader of the Special Forces. But after 4 years, he leaves. But, the military's not going to have any trace of him because his ID, everything was fake. Everything was fake. And yeah, they do blood samples, teeth analysis, and stuff like that. But I'll explain that later. So, the Joker comes out of the military. He's bigger, he's badder, and he wants to do good and for his crime, or his Godfather, and he becomes a figure of chaos and mayhem, bringing death and destruction wherever he goes. He finally meets a young lady, and he gets married, and she gets killed because of the line of work that he's in. And that's what would drive him crazy. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's what would drive him crazy. That would what send him over the edge. He gets tangled up with a female. He gets going, and that's why I make the female the attraction that he has towards this female. I make her look almost like Harley Quinn. That way, you can see why he does fall for Harley Quinn later on. So he falls in love, has a wife, has a kid. She knows that he does bad things. He goes out and he does them, but he keeps working things separate from home. But actually, something happens and work follows him home. His wife and his kids get killed, which causes him to go into a chaotic rage. And that's when you start to really see the birth of the actual Joker. You take away a guy's heart and soul like that, his wife and kids, in the most brutal and horrible way, you're going to go mad. You're going to go insane. And they do. And he does. And that's when he runs across Batman for the first time and gets knocked into the vat of acid. After his wife and kids are dead, he figures that the best version of what's fair in life is chaos and anarchy. Because it is fair. It's the only fair thing. The life hasn't been fair to him his whole entire life. He was abused for just being a kid, for being just existing. He was given to the state where they just threw him around to different abusive people. So he's a product of society. I would love to do that movie, and I could do it some justice. And I want to make a Joker so angry, so chaotic, so evil, and so based on anarchy that it would just it makes my back tingle thinking about it, thinking about the things I could put on film for you guys. It does, and I like it, and I want to do it so bad. I want to do a Joker's. That would be my debut film if I ever decide or get the money to do it. I would love to do the Joker origin story, and it's going to have to be really good. It's going to have to be really good because in order to do just a Joker story or a Joker movie, you're going to have somebody who can really convince an audience that they're Joker, and that's going to take a while. Auditions for that and stuff like that, it's going to take a while to find a really good Joker that will just blow people away. But can also play a clean-cut person also. Because a lot of his life is, since it is an origin story, he is going to be clean-cut, little boy. It's going to follow him through his life. You're going to experience the dread and the injustice of life that he experiences. I want it to be that kind of movie. I want it to be so dark, so gritty, that people walk out of there and go, oh my God, he's fucking awful. He's fucking brilliant, but he's awful. Oh my God, he's awful. But I can't blame him for being that way. He tried so hard to do what's right, and then chaos was the only thing that was fair for him. I want people to walk out with that feeling. I don't know. That's what I love to do. That would be my original idea. I mean, I would love to go through it and just create a storyboard, create the whole story, and start from beginning to end with that. One of these days, hopefully, I'll get the chance and opportunity to do so. Until then, I'm stuck with the adaptations of Joker on screen. And, you know, people, due to varying opinion, will like different adaptations of the Joker, you know. Some people will like the old TV show, you know, the old Joker from the TV show with Adam West. And hey, kudos. I hope you enjoy. Watch away, have fun. You know, but I can't do it. I can't do it. You know, some people will like Jack Nicholson over Heath Ledger. Some people will like Heath Ledger over Jack Nicholson. Some people will like the animated version from the animated series. You know, it's all opinion. And with so many versions of the Joker coming out, you got the Gotham, the TV show. It just had a version of the Joker hit the screen. It's getting kind of chaotic and confusing with the amount of Jokers that's being introduced here as late. So I think they kind of need to take a break and a hiatus from Joker for a little while. You know, if they do a Suicide Squad 2, don't make it about Joker. Don't have him in it. Just don't. You need to leave Joker alone for a while. He needs to stay out of the limelight. That's what made Joker so great. Is I think, you know, Jack Nicholson's role so iconic, and Heath Ledger's role so iconic, and the original Joker's role so iconic from the TV show. It was spaced out so far between that the new adaptations were welcome. You know, it's been so long since we've seen our old chaotic friend that it was a welcome thing, and we were more than happy to have him. Now it just seems like we're throwing Joker version after Joker version after Joker version after Joker version into people's faces, and I just don't like it. It's getting too chaotic, and it's getting to the point where people will start to turn on each other for just like a Joker. And I don't know. Tell me what you think down below. Did you like Suicide Squad? Did you go see Sausage Party? What do you think about the political media that we got going on today? Are you smart enough to think outside the box, or do you listen to what the media says? Answer in the comment sections below. Call me everything but a decent human being in the comment section below, because I don't give a fuck. And I'll see you next episode.